Thanks so much, Mark. After starting the season 1-3, head coach Scott Loeffler is officially serving up a limited platter to his team. Here's what he had to say in his Monday presser. Check it out.
Limiting the run game. It's making sure that our guys know that there's zero excuse not to do your job because of the limited menu. So we're going to limit what we do, try to get better at a few things, and chip away at this.
That is just a little glimpse of what coach is really trying to hone in. What does it say about a team that now has to limit what they are teaching their players?
Well, I think when you come in as a coach, oftentimes you really want to game plan and you want to broaden things and you want to be able to give the whole plethora of what it is you can do. And you have to think, Scott Loeffler's 44. He's been thinking about this his whole life. And so now he's trying to say, okay, let's just pick a few things that we're good at and do those things really, really well before we try to serve up something else. So, I mean, I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. I mean, you see it happen on a bye week. They've condensed the playbook, and we're just going to see what it is that we can. I mean, it's kind of like, you know, testing for allergies. You give a little bit of something, see what they do, see how they do with that, and you move on to the next thing. Same thing with the offense. I think that's what they're going to do.
It just seems like it may have been in reverse order. You introduce things slowly at first and not the whole platter. Was it maybe in reverse order that this should be in?
No, I think you come into an audit, you come into a season, and you have these things that you want to be good at. And after a while, you realize, hey, we're not good at this. And so the adjustment is, I tell you what, I take my hat off to Coach Loeffler because a lot of guys would have never done that. They'll just say, hey, these guys just aren't getting it. He's saying, okay, maybe this is on me. Maybe I'm giving them too much. So I'm going to take some things off of the table and see if they can handle it, if it's me or is it them. So it could be the scheme. I mean, we've seen this happen before where you take some things off of the screen and all of a sudden things get better.
With that said, what should coach hone back on and reintroduce to his players?
Well, I think offensive line play is always going to be a big thing. That's going to be big until they show that they can actually block the simple runs, the power, the G schemes, those types of things. Until they can block those things, you got to bring it back there. You got to bring it back to the simple routes. I mean, I just saw Coach over at the coaches show this evening. He talked about Darius Wade and his mechanics and trying to make sure that his upper body is married to his lower body. And that's the reason I always knew it was something mechanical. I didn't know what it was. But when you see the great quarterbacks, the Peyton Mannings, the Tom Bradys, and it's not fair because he's a college kid, but when you see those quarterbacks, the feet and the leg and the upper body are always doing the same things. They're going in the same directions. And that's why the balls always go where they're supposed to go. So I think those are some of the things that you focus in on the bye week. Coach did talk about the guys getting some one-on-one work, getting some one-on-one work, but also getting some rest. And so with that being said, you're hoping that this bye week was going to energize you to show well at Notre Dame, and then, of course, the following week against that other school.
Coach said he wanted his team to show more energy, more juice in this bye week. So what he did during practice was he made it more competitive. He had ones go against ones. Brandon Purse, who spoke Monday, said it's the most competitive it's been, and now football is starting to become fun again. He said it wasn't fun for a few weeks there.
Well, that's a page right out of the Urban Meyer playbook. You know, with Coach Meyer, everything had a winner and a loser. There was no questions. It didn't matter if it was competitive eating in the mess hall or if it was mat drills in winter conditioning. There was always a winner and loser. When you make there a winner and loser, and there's something on the line, a half gasser, a gasser, whoever goes first in the line, whatever it is, whenever you have that opportunity, that changes things. And so when you got a chance to compete, and these guys are all competitors, nobody wants to lose. So they're going to go out, they're going to show a little extra effort, and hopefully it carries over onto the field.
You played under Urban Meyer for your last season at BG. What do the losers get to eat?
So, Coach, the first 3 weeks of the season we won. First time we'd ever been 3-0. It was very cool. It was very, very cool. So we would come in every Monday, victory steak. And it's like, yes, we're going to tear into the steak. Everything's
Surf
great.
and turf or just?
It was just steak.
Okay.
It was just steak. I mean, it was
All
just steak. You know, they haven't gotten to the surf and turf yet.
Right.
It was just steak. But then we went to Marshall the fourth week of the season, and we lost at Marshall. Byron Leftwich, Darius Watt, Paul Tobiesi, a lot of those guys. And what winds up happening, we come in on Monday, and before you just always got a steak on Monday. We come in on Monday and there's hot dogs. It's nothing but hot dogs.
No, thank you.
And I don't even eat pork, so I was like, I'm not even eating. I'm not even going to eat. I'm
You're
not
not
doing
even
this.
eating that day.
I'm not even
No.
doing that day. I was like, forget it. I'll go home.
Yep.
I'm fine.
Yep.
But you know, it hammered home the point. You're rewarded for winning around here, and we all got the point and was able to go out and win a couple more games.
So maybe Coach Leffler will be introducing some hot dogs and hamburgers soon. But first, Notre Dame coming up Saturday in South Bend. Coach knows the atmosphere well. He says it's really fun to play in. What are your true expectations for this Bowling Green team Saturday?
I want to see us cut back on the mental mistakes. I don't want to see any, mental mistakes. Let's be real here. We just saw Notre Dame 2 weeks ago go down to what I believe is the best team in college football. And
the Georgia Bulldogs?
The Georgia Bulldogs. We just saw them go down there and show very, very well. I still believe Notre Dame is probably a top 6, 7 team in the nation, and we're going into their place. I'm hoping that we are able to, one, stay healthy. I'm hoping that we are able to cut down on the mental mistakes, don't beat yourself. And I'm hoping that we are able to show some formidability, show some fortitude. This is a tall task. It's a tall task going in, calling Golden Dome, touchdown Jesus, all of that stuff. It's going to be tough. It'll be fun for the kids. It'll be fun for me just to be in that stadium and say, hey, I called a game there.
Absolutely.
That's going to be fun also. But it's going to be extremely difficult to come out of there with a win.
I'm not even going to ask you for your score prediction. We'll leave that up to the players on the field.
Ugly.
Yeah, it could be that. But, yeah, you mentioned just how fun it is in the atmosphere. I mean, if nothing else, after it's all said and done, time goes to 0, what do you want BG to walk out there and have the mindset of?
I would like to see some guys walk out of there feeling as though if I can play with them, I can go play with anybody left on our schedule. That was one of the things that we did in the years that I played, especially that last year under Urban. That first game, we went down and we played Missouri. The next week, we were like, what's a Temple? You go down there and you beat Missouri. You believed at that point. And even in games where, like, I remember playing against Michigan and having a good couple of good runs against Michigan. And I'm like, I can do this all season long. Let's go.
Yep.
And so, that's the type of that's what I hope comes out of this. Guys really look and say, hey, we won't play Notre Dame every week, but everybody else on the schedule is about to get this work.
There it is. Bowling Green going to attempt to chip away at the small things, get them done correctly, and hopefully get this season back on track. Alongside John Gibson, I'm Danny Rogers. That's it for the Bowling Green coverage. Mark, back to you.